Hello, everybody, and welcome to our third and final trimester of the year. Can you believe it? Only 4 more weeks, and then math is over. It's a little unfortunate, but let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so we have College Prep Math 2-04. What you're going to do is hop down here where it says 7G, trimester 3, week 1, March 8th. And you'll see it says Monday, March 8th. This is where you'll see what to do for today. Now you have your Zoom link for the noon meeting. Please join at about 11:55. And then you have your one assignment for the day. This is the only assignment you'll have to do. So what you're going to do is click here, and you'll see the assignment details. First off, you'd want to click here for the assignment PDF. All right, so if you click, it brings you to the questions from the assignment. And you can also click this blue hyperlink to download it and make it even bigger. Once you do that, you'll have questions that look like these, and there are going to be 24 questions, each labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And what you're going to do is write on your paper 1 through 24. And this is just a regular line sheet of paper that you'll be completing this on. So grab a notebook, label it 1 through 24, write your name up at the top, and you can go ahead and get started. Once you're finished with all the problems, you can submit it right here in Canvas in open Dropbox. Let me know if for some reason it isn't open. Let's go ahead and go through the first 4 problems together. All right, so here we just took a look at question number 1, and it's talking about ratios and proportions. So here, let's look at question 1. It says, if the ratio of football players from the Midwest and players from the other areas is 1 to 3, then if there are 12 players from the Midwest, how many total players are on a team? All right, so imagine we got this whole team of players. I'm trying to figure out how many players are on the team. Well, here we're going to set up a ratio to help us figure this out. And that ratio we're looking at is 1 to 3. Now, the 1 represents players from the Midwest, and the 3 represents players from other areas. And this could be the north, south, east, west, whatever it may be. And remember, if we're going to compare ratios, we could write it like this, where it's saying 1 to 3. We also could write it as 3 over 1. Remember, those are the 2 ways that we can compare ratios. So let's do it this way. This is players from the other areas, and this is players from the Midwest. And so now we're going to set up an equivalent ratio here. And it tells us that there are 12 players from the Midwest. Okay, so if there are 12 players from the Midwest on this team, and there are 3 players from other areas for every 1 player in the Midwest, then I think I have to multiply this bottom number by 3 to get to my top number, right? Because there's 3 players from other areas for every 1 person from the Midwest. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Knowing that there's 12 players from the Midwest, I'm going to multiply it by 3 to know that there are 36 players from other areas. Well, that's my answer, isn't it? Is that what it's asking? Well, let's take a look. How many total players are on the team? All right. Well, we know that there's 12 players from the Midwest and 36 players from the other team. So I'm going to have to add those 2 numbers together, 36 plus 12, to get the total number of players on the team. That gives me 48. So for question number 1, my answer would be 48 players. Circle it so that way it stands out. I know my answer. I showed my work here, and I can move on to the next problem. Now, that one was a little tricky, and you really had to look at what it's asking. All right? So let's go ahead and look at problem 2 over here. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier. It says if a sports drink costs $5 for 100 ounces, how much does it cost for just 1 ounce? All right. So far, we have $5 for 100 ounces. I want to put my dollars on top here because I want to know my cost per ounce. So cost is going on top. Ounces are going on the bottom. And then here, if I'm dividing $5 by 100 because I want to get it over 1, so I need to divide by 100, then I can just simply Move this decimal place from here over 2 spots to make it 1. And I'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to take this decimal place and move it over 2 spots to divide it by 100. And so if I do that, I no longer have the zeros, right? But then notice I need to add a 0 in front of that 5 because I moved 2 places to the left. And so I have 0.05 over 1. That's my cost per 1 ounce. Let's see, what would 0.05 be in dollars? Well, we know there's 100 pennies in $1, and this is the 100th place, so there's 5 pennies in this case, or in other words, 5 cents. 5 cents here for every 1 ounce. So I finished my second problem, and I can move on to the third one. It says, if a team bus can travel 240 miles on 30 gallons of gas, how many miles can the bus go on 1 gallon of gas? All right, so 240 miles, that's going to be in purple. 30 gallons, that'll be in pink. So I'm going to set up as 240 miles over 30 gallons because I want to know my miles per gallon. All right, how many miles can I go with 1 gallon? So I need to get that 1 on the bottom here. So when I set an equivalent ratio here to make it proportional, then I am going to divide 30 by 30 to make it 1 on the bottom. And then I'm also going to have to divide 240 by 30. And let's see, how many miles would this be? Well, I know if I can take a 0 off here, I can also take a 0 off here. Now it looks like 24 divided by 3. That's easy. That's 8. And so I can go 8 miles off of 1 gallon of gas. Unfortunately, buses don't get the best mileage, and so that's why we typically drive cars. All right, so we have question number 4. The ratio of inflated footballs to footballs that are not inflated is 1 to 3. If there are 9 footballs that are not inflated, how many are inflated? All right, I'm going to do this one as a ratio set up in terms of a fraction. So it has it written as 1 over 3. And remember, that's going to be footballs that are inflated as the 1. And then the non-inflated is going to be on the bottom. So I need to set up an equivalent ratio. Non-inflated on the bottom. Inflated still on the top. And if there are 9 footballs that are not inflated, okay, so I'm going to put my 9 on the bottom. How many footballs are inflated? Well, let's see. I had to multiply 3 by what number to get to 9? I had to multiply 3 times 3. That equals 9. So I also need to multiply the top number by 3 to get 3. So to answer my question, it would be 3 footballs are inflated. Inflated. Oh, that's kind of hard to write, but you get the idea. 3 footballs. All right. And if you wanted to go and do this a different way, you could do 9 times 1 to get 9. And then you could also do 3 times, if we didn't know the number of footballs, we could put x in there, which would give us 3x. And so if you want to solve this algebraically, you could do 9 divided by 3 and 3x divided by 3 to get 3 equals x. All right, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But what you can do is actually check your answers to make sure you get them correct. All right, so I showed all my work. Obviously, that's what we need to do for each of the problems. But then if you scroll down here, you'll see an answer key. So I can check to make sure that that first problem of 48 is correct. And then the second problem of 5 cents is also correct. All right, check your answers, but you need to show all of your work like I just did. So you can't just copy down these answers. All right, this is your only assignment for today. One more time, once you complete it, you're going to go back here into Canvas and you're going to submit it right here under the Rates and Ratios worksheet. All right, right here in the submission box. There are the help videos one more time, and then there are also directions to go along with the assignment, and it'll have a little submit button up here in the top right. Just take a picture of your worksheet, upload it, and you're all good to go. All right, I'll see you guys all at the noon Zoom. Nice job. Enjoy the weather today.